Yes, it's a special day because every year we celebrate World Health Day, that is on 7th of April, with a different theme. And last year now we did mass cleanup at the road and the McLeod area. But this year it's on depression. So we are going to have a workshop on depression at Tibet Charity, which will be given by Jackie, a psychologist, professional psychologist from England. Odi ko do talo khalan depression gangje in talo ta biya jo hanjur khalana ta hanjur mora hanjur Jackie la na hanjur ta mora England ni pigore le phazu ta kangi de la kangi thablam se da khanji ton rogo chi tungi wonde ji kyaman chimbu shi lo ta thai ni ma chik di da thai ni ma chaga di ta mogi khari lobten khari tiben ta hanjur ki mese na pen to aji shungure sambu un samu ku shi na ya ba chin di lo The main reason why Tibet Charity is giving this workshop today is to pursue people to seek help with depression and anxiety. And the second thing is to tell the people that Tibet Charity is offering a new counseling service for those who want to speak to somebody.
Thank you for coming today. As Jumela has, she's introduced me about me. My Tibetan isn't very good, I'm afraid, so I'm hoping that your English is much better than my Tibetan. And if today there are any questions and you don't understand what I'm saying, please just put your hand up or ask me, or if you don't feel that you can ask in front of everyone, ask your neighbour or ask someone you know who knows English very well. And we can have a discussion. I just want to introduce myself as Jackie, and I've been coming to Dharamsala for the last 44 years. I spent the first 12 years here continuously and had my children here. 2 of my children were born here. And I think during all of that time, I have just a tiny bit of understanding of Tibetan culture, Tibetan way of thinking.
My name is Suvit. I'm from Thailand.
Oh, from Thailand, thank you.
My name is Marley. Now I'm Australian. I'm teaching English in the upper intermediate level.
My name is Luxembourg. I am from Bhutan. I came for study English and visit to Holiness Dalai Lama in our place.
My name is Sonam. I am from Kino. I came here learn English. My name is Mr. Wong. I'm from South Korea.
My name is Olga. I am a Russia.
Je m'appelle Robert. I'm teaching French.
I'm Sujan Parmo and I'm working here as a home nurse. I'm working here as a home nurse. Hi, I'm Sri Omo and I'm working at home nurse at Tibet Charity.
I'm from Tibet.
My name is Jim Lai. I am from Thailand.
I am Tantao. I'm from Thailand.
So, we will start with, what is depression? What is your view of depression? Does anyone know what it means to be depressed?
So you're unable to cope with the situation you find yourself in and you just don't know what to do.
Okay, thank you.
We're taking so much unnecessary things, which just makes depression us.
Yeah, thank you.
Musting le don namgyu ne khalam sam sa gyode thanda mi ya hodu sam sam hok de me mud la rungen chaido tenso sam musting sam han depression ge sundam lu chade or sangma chedan da mogi da dordi la or da shibsa juna manzo ya go sing me dong so ra. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So it's not a disease. It's a normal way. It's something. It's a reaction to certain things that happen in life, in everyday life. It's normal.
No.
Okay.
It's normal. It's a normal part of one's life that we can react in a sad way to a situation.
디 남기도 수수기 라가치데 저처럼 어디랑 차고었다. 얘네 이대로 수수 react 라이도 다 수수기
Of depression. Physical. Can you see everyone?
Yes.
Physical, which means affecting your body. Different, headaches, maybe feeling you can't eat, and then feeling sad, feeling low. Thinking, thoughts that things will never be good again. There are no light feeling, no happiness, and sometimes when it perpetuates a sense of not being able to carry on with life. That's thinking. And behaving, not being able to sleep, or maybe sleeping too much. Can't get up in the morning, no motivation.
땅에 빠져 중하나 아따디 여기 조사 말에 삼삼기 삼로 레스도 어딘 좀 마스칼라 thinking 수수기 삼다운 줄 알게게
I've got a reaction. And what I want to say is it's okay. It's okay to have those feelings. It is part of who we are. And as I want to repeat again, this happens in all aspects of our lives, from when we're a child, when we're a student. This happens in school. It happens when you leave school. Anxiety is a little different from depression.
Before the interview, also the job interview.
That's right. Anyone else? So this also has full features. So the physical, that your heart is beating very fast and you start to shake. That's being anxious. Sometimes headaches. Dizziness, trembling, shaking. Pins and needles. Do you know what pins and needles are? It's a sensation in tingling. Feeling something terrible is going to happen and feeling scared. Thinking by worrying too much. Thoughts going round and round in your head. Negative thoughts. Thoughts of maybe even going to die or losing someone. Feeling you have no friends, that people don't like you. And behaving, avoiding situation like you are frightened of going to meet someone. So you stay inside, you isolate yourself.
Tangi depression la features chido, chico chikia anxiety la features chido ra. Physical na khali kan tango shana ke
If depression or anxiety is only for affecting you for 1 or 2 days or 3 days and then it goes away, it's not a problem. It's part of our human condition and we can cope with it. But if it becomes a problem and it's ongoing for 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, month, 2 months, it affects your life. Then it becomes something that needs to be talked about, to be understood by someone else. Types of feelings that you've had in your life.
먼저 그룹 속에 굉장히 가까웠어요. 그룹 속에 나는 수수기 강의 근데 단나 아저씨예요. anxiety, depression이.
So sharing your feelings and for about 20 minutes, and then we come back to the main group, okay, all together again.
파이치니 차사. 나기를 헬란 말로 쳐요. 근데 어제 보면 좀 소름 강의 책시했어.
Yes.
Husband is going with another woman?
Yes. If I think.
Thinking. Yes.
And begin. I'm thinking about what will happen tomorrow and how do I give exams and what to do. I don't know how to do study. Okay. Because when I was small, the teachers just read and explain.
Okay, so we know that that the Tibetan people are reluctant to talk about the pain and the difficulty that they have. So does that mean, or in your opinion, is there a lot of hidden depression within the Tibetan community?
Yes, I believe so. There is a lot of trauma from generational trauma. If there are Tibetans who have escaped and have come to India, and there's the trauma of that experience. They might have been imprisoned, and they arrive here in very difficult circumstances. Their health is different. They have bad health because of the different climates. And then generational means that Tibetans who have actually been born in India, it's passed down through their parents, the experiences of the past. They have their own uncertainty about future. Many problems. Wow, well, you seem to have had a lot to say to each other, it feels. I've heard so much talking, and I wonder if there's anyone, one person in each group who would like to say anything that has been significant and you would like to talk about in the sharing.
Really haven't suffered depression, but one of the girls has. She, like me, she's a foreigner in this country. She lives by herself, and sometimes she becomes lonely. And sometimes after some days, she's not coping very well. She goes out and walks, and often she'll meet somebody and talk to them, and then she'll feel better. This is how her method of coping. She's a long way from her family and home.
Right.
Her don't do like that. And she wants to eat sleeping pill, too many. And I told don't do that. It's very bad.
Yeah.
And I advise her.
Thank you. We all have emotions, and on a daily basis it changes, and we all have coping strategies which can deal with difficult parts of our lives. But when it becomes something that takes over our life and is problematic on a daily basis. All of us have loneliness at some time and lack of security. And the more you talk about it, it feels maybe a little bit better. This problem, have you talked to someone who is separate from your students? No, because someone who has understands what you're talking about, but is not part of your student-teacher relationship. And the more you talk about it and discuss it, it becomes clearer. And it'll be clearer for you. Okay? I can understand this has been going on for 3-4 years, but it needs to be discussed in from a point of view that is away from the students, away from the class. Does that make sense? It does?
Okay, so I understand that depression isn't a subject that Tibetans readily talk about.
No, they're not willing to talk about it because they are frightened of the community and of the gossip that perhaps depression or anxiety is a mental health problem. It's as if you are going mad. There is very little understanding of what this state of mind, how it exists in one's daily life. And so they're frightened of gossip, they're frightened of what people will think, that they may be mad. And Tibetans in general, if they feel unbalanced in their mind, they will go and see a Tibetan doctor. And they have special medicine, which is useful. Or they go and see a lama, and they have advice from their lama about having religious practice.
One more question. So have you found that when they feel safe and secure and they feel that they can talk to someone, that they do actually appreciate the opportunity to talk about how they feel?
There hasn't been that opportunity. It does not exist in this community.
But are you confident that that this is something that can develop?
Absolutely.
Two important things to keep in mind is that in our Tibetan community, people don't recognize depression, and even when they do, they are not willing to seek help. We want them to come and seek help from a counselor, but first we have to assure them that it is safe. When they know certain things about the counseling, then they will feel more secure, and there are 4 things that they should know.
Yarki drosa mare samsam ki samno lesh to odin zo maj kala thinking susu ki sam taunjo la kyon ge behaving lana ndana mo lo ken ta du ken ta nge ba chunga na ata di yarki drosa mare samsam ki samno lesh to odin zo maj kala thinking susu.
Number 2 is non-judgmental, which means that whatever you have whatever you have said to the counselor won't judge on your character or personality. Suppose if you have you have talked about your husband's relationship like that, then some people may blame you that it's your fault like that, but the counselor won't blame like that. She will listen and then she will find out the solution for that. Number 3 is trust. Trust is the basis of good relationship. If you trust the counselor, then you believe the counselor is on your side. You believe that counselor wants the best for you. If you trust the counselor, you will be honest with them, and the honesty is most important thing. 4th one is empathy and understanding, which means The counselor will understand whatever you say. The counselor is a kind of person who understands people. People should know that the counselors are professionals. They are trained to listen and help people with their problems. The service is available 3 days a week, morning 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and anyone interested can contact to Tibet Charity Healthcare.